everyone.
Hello there.
Welcome back to another episode of
Queerspace
TV, where we are showcasing only the best, most amazing underground queer LGBTQIA, QT, POC plus artists that we have to offer in the Queerspace family worldwide, showcasing the darker side of queer identity. And this next guest, how do we introduce someone?
Not only one of our favorite forms of manicure, she is incredible. She's this amazing musician and artist with video and all these things. I mean, Jesus, it's just making me really, oh my God.
So,
here we go.
Please welcome Celeste. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are so excited to have you here.
Yeah. I'm sure, as you know, this is quite the unprecedented time for us who love to perform live, as you do. How has it been just adjusting to the different vibe of, being a live performer and then not being able to do that anymore?
I feel like I was in a state of shock when everything shut down at first, because I had all these shows lined up and I was like, this will just last 2 weeks. This will just last a month. I was like, any day now. And I felt like I got stunted. Like, I still feel like a part of my psyche is trapped in March 2020.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, it's been just interesting to kind of channel energies in different ways, making art in ways that don't involve interaction with humans.
Me and Celeste, obviously, we know you as a musician and video artist as well. So when did you first start making music? What was that process like?
Yeah, I started Gel Set in 2012 when I lived in Chicago. So I've been doing that for, gosh, I guess it's been 9 years now. But growing up, I didn't make music. I was more of a visual artist. Like, I went to school for painting and started as a painter and kind of came around music backwards. Like, I was playing a farfisa in my friend's power pop band just because they needed they wanted a female vocalist to do backup vocals. So I would just do like little projects like that, or like play bass in my friend's like rock band or something. So cool. But I never really focused on my own thing or production until I started Gel Set in 2012.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you are musically trained because you say you play bass and stuff like that.
No, not at all. Yeah, no, it's all just like by ear and like.
That's so cool.
So was it intimidating when you tried to do it like solo?
For sure. Like my first solo show that I did, literal like knees knocking. Like I was so nervous because I'm a bit like introverted and a bit shy. So to have like, I was actually telling Peter earlier, like I get nervous when like strangers stare at me. Like sometimes I'll walk into a store and just like leave because I'm like, everyone looked at me.
I wonder if it's like a woman thing too, because I was just talking about that. I was like staring into someone's eyes is another form of this crazy intimacy.
It really is.
Like, so when you're on the street and like people look at you, it's like, I'm like, my eyes are shuffling all the time. So
so performing is like the ultimate, like everyone's staring at you,
and you're just like,
unless they're looking at their phones or something.
Looking at you through their phones, basically.
It is kind of like a confidence booster, though, I found, because I'm usually super nervous before I do a performance, but after you do it, there's this adrenaline and this like empowerment almost that you feel.
That's true.
Can you relate to that?
Oh,
feeling?
absolutely. Yeah. No, I feel like performing did really help me. I think it helped me with anxiety because just making mistakes while being watched, like on stage, like, fucking up in these ways that I would have thought would have been like really embarrassing or no big deal. And so I feel like in that way it was a big confidence booster.
Yeah. And like nobody really knows.
No one cares.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Literally no one cares. It's like, oh my God, everyone's judging me, and everyone's just like zoning out or
it's just perfectionism that we like installed in ourselves. We're like, oh my God, I like twitched weird. Nobody even noticed that.
No one noticed.
So.
And there's something endearing too about like, because I've had things where like my whole set, like my power strip comes off or something, and you just look at the crowd and you're like,
you just want to do something even crazier. Like one time we performed and almost like set something on fire, but we were like, oh shit. Like
that's kind of exciting.
It was kind of like, we planned that.
We're like pyrotechnics. We got it.
So what like kind of gear are you more like comfortable with using, or what like inspired you to start making music, and like what's your whole mindset with music now that you've been doing it for so long?
I have like two ways of working. I love working in a computer with Ableton. And what I like about that is sort of like the sound design aspect of it, that I feel like I can really go deep with sounds and textures and craft things, but I also really love hardware. But I feel like they're just two different processes for myself.
Definitely.
So I don't know, when I write songs, I will sort of just pick whatever mood I'm in and depending on like what I do. But yeah, so I started this project. I was playing Farfisa and singing backup vocals in my friend's band, and it was just like I had no creative control. They were like, actually do this, actually no. And so I bought like a microKORG was the first thing I bought, and just started writing these like little songs on my own. And I don't know, my boyfriend at the time was like, these are cool, you should put them out. And I was like, no one wants to hear this. I'm just making these in my bedroom for myself. And it kind of like just grew from there. So,
I love it. It has such a great vibe.
Oh,
too.
thank you.
Yeah, I feel like
Thanks.
it's so fun and just so cool, you know?
Thanks.
So
yeah,
like,
fun is definitely like what I'm going for.
Totally
like,
fun.
Yeah.
Like I would listen to it if I like, well, I do actually when I get ready and stuff
Oh,
like
cool.
that. Yeah, totally. So
yeah.
it's like kind of one of those things where it's like energy wise, you know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And you have like expanded the project Gelset now to include different types of gear, and also you have her name is Catherine Harvath, right?
So she was in the video for It Has Come to Our Attention, but she's just a friend. So my friend Margot has been playing keyboards, and how that came about was I've always been a solo project, and I've always like never wanted a man to like co-produce or do anything, because I'm like, as soon as a guy touches my music, he's gonna get all the credit.
I'm like for real, and they get so control aspecty of like how you sound too, and it's just like
it's like I was like, I'd rather be either mediocre or so, but like be learning production and stuff than to like have someone take control. But Noah from Profligate, he was gonna mix my album, and he actually ended up co-producing the last album, and then we did a couple tours together, and he was playing keyboards in the project, and then he moved to Ohio, and so I had these shows booked, and I needed someone to take his place. So Margot, who's been playing with me, kind of took his place as a keyboardist. So yeah, so that's how that
awesome.
Kind of transpired.
Yeah, that's so cool. And how has that dynamic been, like working with someone else?
It's been really fun, because like being a solo artist, it's just like so much to focus on in a live performance.
Right.
Like I'm singing, I'm playing keyboards, I'm like activating the tracks, I'm like, you know, like worried, am I interesting enough for people to like stare at me? But having her there, like she's such an amazing musician. Just I can, you know, just sing if I want to on a certain song, or just I feel like having the energy of another person really adds to the live experience as a performer, but also as a viewer. I think it's can be more exciting. I mean, maybe that's my own insecurities, but maybe I feel like it's more exciting to stare at me and someone else than just me.
It takes the pressure off you.
Yeah,
you're like,
totally.
you get to feed off of each other.
Yeah.
Totally.
And now let's cut to our very special commercial break for you all. This is a product that both of us here have used, me and Celeste, and it has had amazing results for our life.
FDA approved and everything.
So if you want to figure out how to be a little more basic, stay tuned for this very special message from our sponsor.
I love being basic.
Are you tired of being interesting? Is all this critical thinking you're doing really getting you down? Are you an artist just enjoying the fame and fortune and the fruits of your labor, but you just don't seem to have the time? You don't have the time to deal with all the fans holding you up at the grocery store, or all the DMs you have to answer every day? Well, my name is Peter, and I'm here today to present this amazing new product to you. It's called Basictrin, the once-a-day pill you can take every day, any way. Basictrin will take away all your attention-seeking qualities so that you are not the star of the show anymore. I know it gets tired, but don't ask me, ask my friends.
I used to be so complicated before. I mean, dark thoughts, impulsive promiscuity. I used to do performance art. But after taking Basictrin, I've repressed all those urges and I am confident enough to blend into society and start a family. It has been a complete 180. Here are some before and after pictures.
I used to be so overwhelmed studying the theories of Foucault and Zizek and even ancient philosophers like Socrates and Aristotle. But now, after I took Basictrin, I can watch an entire episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I love it.
Before I found Basictrin, I was the CEO of the most successful Fortune 500 company. One day, I just said, fuck it. I'm sick of all the money and the complicated thoughts. I'm sick of all the hard work paying off, people praising me left and right. It was all just so overwhelming. But after just 1 week of Basictrin, I'm the CEO of nothing. I have all the time in the world because I gave up all of my hopes and dreams. And it's all thanks to Basictrin.
Warning, do not take Pritchard without consulting your doctor. Do not use Pritchard if pregnant or expecting. Pritchard may have severe side effects, including sweating, headaches, confusion, gout, diabetes, cancer, cotton mouth, erectile dysfunction, heart disease, irritable bowel syndrome, gingivitis, halitosis, genital warts, shingles, emphysema, syphilis, arthritis, vertigo, and death. There's a 95% chance of death when taking Pritchard.
Basictrin, your repression starts today.
Can you talk a little bit about like your video making process and how that's different from making music for you?
For sure. So Where the Ocean Meets Land, my friend Sam made that video, and I love like working with other artists, say in cover design or videos, just because I mean traditionally I have been a solo project, so that was like my way to collab with people. And that video was actually completely his idea. I was like, follow your vision. So that one was him. I let him have creative control. But with the other videos that have come out, like one of my dreams is to like make like a B horror movie or just like a B movie. So I try to channel that energy in my music videos. So I tend to go for kind of like a narrative, like a loose narrative in a way. And so yeah, Next Exit was my like Thelma and Louise meets Daisies in like a David Lynch Americana. Like that was sort of what I was going for there. That song was based on Noah, the co-producer of the album. Like his car got stolen and the people who stole his car, they drove it until it ran out of gas and just like abandoned it. And so I wrote that song like from the perspective of the thieves, sort of like these like joyriders, like
I love
let's just see where this car takes us kind of vibe. So
That's so cool. So when you write songs, do you usually think of a narrative to write your songs about, or is it just like I'm in the mood to get my feelings out?
Yeah, no, it really varies. Like I do love narrative art, but I would say especially like before I ever did therapy, which I started a few years ago, like music was like my only emotional like channel. Like so like sometimes it'd be feelings based, but sometimes it's just like sound based or beat based. Like I'll just start with like I'll be like, oh, this beat's kind of cool, or oh, I really like this one sound. So
the Where the Ocean Meets the Land and then Next Exit, would I be right in saying your sound kind of fluctuates between like beat, like techno, bass, and then there's also, you know, synth, ethereal kind of stuff?
For sure.
So how do you determine like what direction you're gonna go in?
You mean like for a particular song or for an album, or like or just in general? Or?
Well, yeah, I guess in general, because every time I've seen you play, it's been like a beat-based kind of performance.
Yeah.
But then I was looking at your videos and saw that you were doing like different stuff sonically. So I was wondering how that shift came about.
I just like, I feel for me personally, like especially before I was playing with someone else, that beat-based stuff that's more techno sound, more like hardware based, I just find that more fun to do live. Because like with the production stuff I do, that's more like the synth pop sound, it just has so many layers that it's hard to play live in a way like without a backing track or without like MIDI triggers. And I don't always want to bring every piece of gear I use like out, but like I really like writing like dance sets with hardware that are beat based. I find that just to be really fun. So I don't know, and I think that's what's been fun about being a solo artist is I can just like do whatever I want when I want. But yeah, that's true. I do have like, I'd say 2 different sounds, and sometimes I'm like, should this be 2 different projects? But
nah,
it just seems like too much energy.
Totally. Yeah, it can become like fragmented. I mean, I think something we talk about too is like sometimes the worst thing you could do as an artist is like do way too many things. I feel like this is like my self-sabotage, you know, if you do painting and this and music and perform, like it's just like
but it's also so much fun to do like
so
many things.
And I think it's the thing too, I feel like to organize it all, we put it into like a project, but it's like essentially it's just energy getting like flown out of us. And it's like, it's okay, like it's kind of a label to put it under, but it's just me like making my weird little thing, you know.
I have felt this sometimes when I've like played a show and I've made a choice in one direction or the other. I feel like there have been times where people like expected something.
Yeah, I totally.
Actually, when I first moved here, I played this show at Bootleg Theater, and everyone was more like not songwriter. They were more like pop structured songs. And I had like just moved here from Chicago, and I was in like this like hardware techno phase, and so I got on stage and I played this techno set. And the Bootleg Theater went from being full to empty. Like I think like
that feeling.
Three people stayed because I think they were just like not expecting like a hardware techno set. And one dude afterward was like, "That was really sick." But nobody else.
The one guy who's still there. So how did you come up with the name Gel Set? We have some ideas, but I'd love to hear the story.
Well, I actually like really wanted it. So I feel like sort of like a femme aesthetic has been important to me in this project.
I love it so much.
Especially because like where I started the project was in Chicago, and I felt like a lot of the electronic music I was surrounded by was very like masculine. And so I felt like there'd be a power in just like committing to like, I want my name to be like a makeup product.
I love it.
And I decided it wanted to do something with nail salons, and I don't know.
It's perfect.
Chose Gel Set. And then I tried to stick just like to femme things within the project for that reason. And what I love about that is like when I've done tours, you know, especially when I was doing like all hardware sets, like, I mean, now it's not so much, but like, you know, back 2012, 2013, like people who weren't cis men would come up to me after shows and just be like, I've never seen like a girl do like an all hardware set, like that's so cool. And then I would come there the next year on tour and like they would have a project. And and so
it really, really is inspiring. Like when I was watching you, I was like, this is fucking cool. Like because it is, you're really right with that. There's a lot of just male kind of like, look at my fucking gear. And I love seeing you have so much fun and like really relating to that femme kind of like, oh yes, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me get my lipstick on.
So,
you know, like let me get that dress on.
And I think like something that I get from your work as well is almost like a bedroom kind of vibe, like people making music in their bedroom.
For sure.
Like not Julie Ruin now, but like remember the Julie Ruin album that was like the first album they made where she made it. That's kind of like the vibe that I read from some of your work as well. It's like we can make music like in our bedrooms, you know, like it doesn't have to be this much cheese.
And I have to say, like, just as a bit, I relate with the bedroomism and stuff. I think it's more of like you being so intimate, and I think the bedroom is like the most intimate place you can be and stuff. So it's just like, and that's what I also relate to in the femme sound is like, that's us, like that's our space to feel like sexy and cool.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that. So
no, for sure. And because I did come from this mindset of like, no one's gonna help me. I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna figure it out. I mean, I was always just like, in my bedroom at a little table, like with whatever gear I had at the time, being like,
What is your favorite piece of gear that you're working with right now?
Well, I am excited about the Prophet because it's new and that's been really fun. But I would say before I got that, I have this Tempest drum machine, and it's really fun because you can just craft the sound of each little drum sound. So those are my two favorites currently.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so awesome.
Yeah.
And I know you like to make your own visuals and do video work. So if you had to like score a movie, like what would be your dream score? Like any movie, what would you want to make music for?
I love that question. I mean, I have this fantasy that I hope I figure out how to do some days. I really want to make like a B horror movie. And so I don't have a movie that already exists that I've thought of, but I just think it'd be so fun to do like
Like a whole feature film,
Yes.
like oh my god, called
That'd be
Gel Set.
so
Like
fun.
you should do it. Like it's just like this killer cosmetic thing.
Yeah, that would be so
Like,
fun,
what?
right?
Yeah,
Just
well-
be so like campy and
Oh god,
Yeah.
I'm so for it. Oh my god.
hell yeah.
Like a murder that takes place in a nail salon, maybe.
Do
Oh,
movies
yeah.
like inspire your sound at all? Because I kind of picked up like a very cinematic vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. No, I
totally.
feel like I'm not always just inspired, but like, oh, like this industrial band is cool. I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, like this movie was really like
I totally
inspiring or
picked up
something.
on that. Are there like some movies that you're just like totally blown out, inspired by, no matter what?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Like, I kind of like, I tend to like just like get really obsessed with like one thing and like focus on it for a while. So I sort of just depends on
Some of your favorite live show experiences, or perhaps the most crazy live shows you've done?
Yeah, my favorite is I love like basement dance parties.
Yeah.
Just like when everyone's like completely wild and it's sweaty, and like I've played some shows where like, you know, the floor isn't totally secured, it's kind of wobbling and there's no AC and everyone's drenched in sweat and just like dancing their asses off. Like that's like my favorite live experience. So
Have you had any like crazy kind of bad live experience stories?
I played this one show in Oxford, Mississippi at this cafe, and I was opening the show, and like when I got on stage there was like seemed like a little church group was at the cafe, and it seemed like there was like a little league team.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, here we go, and there was like no one in the audience yet. So I'm like, this is gonna be something. And I got on stage, and again, it was another time where like everyone left. I was like, I saw that coming. So things like that. And like I've played shows, like I played a show at a hair salon once where like instead of dancing, everyone just sat on the floor and just like stared at me. And I'm like, this isn't intellectual music. Like it's
Yeah, like they're trying to figure you out, and you're like, no, I want you to move your body.
there's nothing to think about necessarily.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
just
my
like
God.
feel it viscerally, and they're like, you know, so.
How do you shake off that like bad show taste in your mouth?
I find it kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I
Just
wouldn't
laugh
say
it
I
off,
feel
yeah.
traumatized by it. Like to me, I'm just like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like what the hell is
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, it's worth it for the stories. I
Yeah.
think, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. So have you played like all across the U.S. and other places?
Yeah,
too?
I've played most states. I think I like tried to figure out what states I hadn't played yet, and I've never played South Dakota,
Oh,
Cool.
interesting.
and I've never played Delaware.
Yeah.
There's a few others I forget, but yeah, I toured Europe once, and I played one show in South Korea once. But
Whoa,
yeah,
how was that?
it was exciting to be there and playing a show. I wouldn't say it was like the most amazing show, but yeah, my friend was teaching English over there and like had a band, and so just set up a show. I went over there, and yeah, it was cool.
Such a trip.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Were you perceived well?
It was interesting. Like there were a few people who were like seemed way too excited. Like took like a million photos of me. I was like, this is weird, but and then some people completely disinterested. It was like the whole spectrum of
Cool.
reaction.
Where was the show at?
We were in Seoul. I actually forget the name of the place, but yeah, it was a bar.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's an awesome experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get more like into the other states, kind of like you were saying, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's such a psychological kind of experience to see all different types of people and how they react to your set, you know?
Yeah, I love going to a place that's maybe a little off the beaten path,
Right.
where like say someone like us doesn't go there that much, and they're like really excited. Like I played a show in Little Rock once, and just it was like a house show, and some of the kids afterwards were like, man, we never see stuff like this. Like no one ever comes here. And it was just like really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that actually, how it's like there in the smaller cities we've played, like there's such an excitement about the fact that there's a show, you know, and here, you know, everyone's like
been there, done that, like
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
this, like I've done this,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
whereas
Oh my God, yeah. I was saying that it's like the lack of ego from like smaller towns.
yeah,
Where they just,
there's like an earnestness and
they
like a
wanna
lack
have
of like
fun.
pretension.
Yeah. Is something that kind of like stylistically or just like icons of music, like who do you look up to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a child of the 80s, so I always like have like, you know, people like Cure and Depeche Mode, like not to be cliche, but like that's just like what I grew up on.
Yeah.
So like that's like what I love. And like, I mean, and then in the 90s, I was like obsessed with like Courtney Love and like stuff like that, like Riot Girl.
Cool.
Yeah, so I feel I'm influenced by those eras
Love it.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Totally.
So were you ever interested in making any other type of music other than like
Synth pop, like
electronic?
yeah.
Yeah, I used to have a drum set and I have a guitar, but I'm just like not that great at either one.
Right.
I just like really love crafting sounds. So I feel like unless I take a year off and like live in the mountains and just like really figure out how to play like I love slide guitar. I would love to like be like,
oh, that would be so cool.
you know, a master of that. But like I don't know if that's gonna happen in my lifetime. So like I think I'm stuck in the electronic zone because that's what I can do.
Yeah, totally. So have you been working on anything like new that you are excited to release when things go back to normal?
Yeah, you know, so I was working up until August at my old job, and then my job ended and I went to Houston where my mom lives, and that's where I bought The Prophet, and I wrote like basically essentially a full album that I was like, that's cool. But then my laptop like destroyed itself.
I'm about to cry.
Yes, but I'm trying to look at it as like a just wasn't meant to be. It's time to make something new. So yes, I'm about to start on I'm not even gonna try and recreate those songs. I'm just gonna be like, that was my quarantine release.
Yeah.
Leave it in 2020.
Yeah, that's nice.
Do something different. Yeah. Yes, I have that album that those two songs you mentioned are on coming out in April. And then we'll see. We'll see what's next. Yeah.
Are you self-releasing or is it on a label?
It's on a label. It's called 2MR. Yeah, they put out my last album as well in 2017.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited to release it in the world.
Yeah, is that a TMR Bandcamp? How would you find your album?
Yeah, so it's the number 2. So it stands for 2 Mics Records. So it's 2MR.
Right.
Yeah.
2MR.com.bandcamp.com. Probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, just Google it. But yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
That's so
Thank you.
exciting.
Yeah.
As per your name, Gelset, we assume that you are, interested in nail art and manicures and stuff like that. So we've compiled a visual list of some nail art that we wanted to know if you approve or disapprove. Would Gelset wear these nails?
Yeah,
so,
great.
If you don't mind, we'll just go through the images real quick.
So, yes or no?
Oh, wow. I feel like in the right context, like maybe like a black tie formal event, the black and white might look nice.
Yeah. God.
And then like with the hair, you can kind of...
Maybe if you're eating some like buffalo wings, like the feathers might be...
Something like that.
Perfect.
Next.
Oh, that's so utilitarian. I feel like that could just really come in handy because you wouldn't really have to wash dishes. You had the silverware attached to you.
Oh my goodness, I believe like a picnic.
Never watching dishes.
Like you're going on like your first Tinder date and you're like, let's meet at the park, and then you bust those babies out with your picnic basket.
Like, I came prepared. That's sexy, right?
I'm gonna feed you, and then you start. So yes or no?
Hors d'oeuvres.
I'm gonna go with yes. At a picnic.
Next.
I mean, I don't want to. Actually, man, I might go with no for this one because as much as I love the piercings, they kind of remind me of raisins, and I don't like raisins.
No, me neither. I hate raisins.
I don't like them.
No, they're so fucking gross. Especially raisins like when people put them in like a salad or something, like you're fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
Like what is wrong with these people?
Like, can we not? Yeah. So I mean, I like the pierced element. Maybe if like the previous one, like the spoon had been pierced, I might have liked
that
that.
one does look like
It's so raisin-like. I can't get down with raisins. No.
Next.
Oh wow. I like that because not only do I like this sort of like flesh tone stiletto, because that's like sexy and dangerous, I feel like it takes sexy to a very literal place. You know, it's like you thought these two fingers were sexy. Here's sex.
Yeah, like that's pure sex.
Yeah,
in my
pure sex.
opinion.
Yeah, we like
Definitely.
to be bold here. So,
Yes, definite
yeah.
yes.
Body pauses.
No, I hate this one. I feel afraid. I feel like if you like say you were out somewhere and you saw someone with that nail, I would like leave. I would have to leave.
It's absolutely terrifying.
Oh
like,
God.
And like it looks like or whoever it is, their nail is literally filed like that. That's scary.
That's scary. That's someone who maybe has psychotic tendencies. And
Yeah.
No,
not
that
okay.
one,
That's absolute no.
like fully. Oh, it's like a corkscrew.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
another utilitarian. I like that. I feel like the thumb would make it hard to type.
Yeah.
So maybe if the thumb was on all the fingers, I would have to go no just for practical purposes. But I love the others.
So A for effort.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
but no. Right, next. Okay, this is a double feature.
The 2-for-1.
Oh, okay.
So the left one with the
Interesting.
heads.
Okay, and then we have toothbrush. You know, again, I like utilitarian things, but I feel like the toothbrush, it just doesn't quite work aesthetically. For some reason, the toothbrush, it reminds me of a toilet brush. I don't know why.
No, yeah,
Little
it does have
scrubber.
that.
Or a scrubber, yeah. But the hair, it's nice because it's like a nail salon and a hair salon all in one. So I feel like that one's a twofer. So I would have to go with yes to hair, no to brushes.
Okay, for
Yeah.
sure. And last but not least, this is.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's terrifying, and I'm down.
This one's like a little like it's like one of those photos on Facebook.
Yeah, my
where
mom's a
test your
dentist. She would love that.
phobias.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's like.
Maybe get her a gift certificate for her next birthday.
I'll be like, don't worry, it's on me. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, don't worry about the design.
Yeah, just close your eyes, lean back,
Like,
relax.
Think of an island in the
Yeah.
sand, and she'll wake up with, wow.
She's like, just what I always never knew I wanted.
Yeah.
Now I know.
But yeah, so yay or nay for that one.
I'm gonna go yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. We can eat it all in one place.
Yeah.
You know what you want to do artistically. What are you most excited about for 2021?
Man, even more so than like say playing a show or like I want to be around a bunch of strangers and I want them to just breathe on me. Like I want to like stand in a bathroom line and talk to like someone annoying and just like not think about it.
Yeah.
Like I want to just be in a room of people and just I don't care how I feel about them as people. I just like want to be around strangers.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have any personal goals that you want to achieve this year?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I guess. I mean, I do want to like write my next album and finish that. And I don't know. Maybe I'll try and work on that B movie we
I
talked
was about to
about.
bring that up. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm there. Anything you need.
Yeah, if you need a
Like,
killer.
I'm always down with being like
Oh,
slaughtered and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you have a killer and a killee.
Yeah. We've done this before actually. So like.
Been practicing your whole lives.
Yeah,
for
no,
this.
seriously, that has actually been my dream is like be a B movie actress. I never wanted to be a good one.
Yeah.
No, I was just like, I don't want to like reach. I don't want to do that. I want to be like really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to make something bad. So I feel
Yeah.
like this is the dream team.
Like,
Yeah.
Let's make something really bad this year.
Well, on that note, everyone can stay tuned for our very bad good movie we're all going to collaborate on. And you can look out for Gel Set's new album on 2MR Records.
Yeah.
2MR Records, Google, and gelset.bandcamp.com, of course. And Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a great
that was so
episode.
fun talking with you.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Thank you so much for doing
Thanks
this.
for having me.
And yeah, everyone say goodbye to Jill.
Bye.
And see you next
Thank
time
you.
on Queerspace TV.